Hey, what's up, you guys? Matt Thibeau here with Savant Marketing Agency, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to build a brand and the truth behind brand building. Now, I think that this is a very important video because a lot of contractors ask me, how do I build a brand? And contractors are always wondering how to do that. And I think that a lot of contractors can be easily misled into brand building by agencies that just take advantage of them and get them, a nice looking website or blah, blah, blah. And they never really end up actually building a real brand. So in this video, I'm going to break down what I believe to be the truth behind building a brand and how you can quickly do that for yourself. Now, before we jump into that, I want to ask you, what is actually building a brand and why does it matter, right? Well, to understand building a brand, we have to go way back to what actually a brand is and how did it start. So the way that building a brand actually started was through the concept of ownership, right? So way back then, farmers, in order to actually signify, hey, this is my animal, would literally brand the animal, like a horse or a cow, with a mark of their company or their brand, right? And so this is how they were easily recognizable as, hey, this belongs to me, right? And then over time, branding went from ownership to differentiation, right? Because in a city, if there's only one person who does flooring, then there's no real need for differentiation because everybody goes to Bob's Flooring. But if then there's 20 flooring companies in one city, then there comes to be the need for differentiation, right? Because there's more competition that has come up. And so this is where the need for branding came into play for differentiation, because if you are the same as everyone else or you're perceived the same as everyone else, there's no way of you to be able to differentiate yourself, right? And so the reason that building a brand is really important now more than ever is that a lot of contractors are struggling with landing the type of jobs that they want to land, charging what they want to charge, and attracting A players into their business who actually want to stay and work with them, right? And so a lot of contractors now are wondering, how can I build a brand and what does that look like? And so I want to share with you how to build a brand in the easiest way to understand so that you don't get taken advantage of or waste a bunch of time focusing on the kind of stuff that quite frankly doesn't matter. So before I go into, everything that you should be doing to build a brand, let's first talk about what people think they should be doing to start building a brand. First off, what I think a lot of contractors think they need to do is, hey, let's get a fancy looking logo, let's get a fancy looking website, and let's wrap our truck and do all this kind of stuff, right? And I'll tell you right now, that is definitely a good thing to do. I'm not saying to not do any of that kind of stuff. I'm not saying to get a nice logo and nice website and all that, right? I think that definitely helps. I think that makes you look professional. It's a good thing to do. But is it going to actually build your brand? Well, here's my thoughts on that. Is that you can do everything you want to be able to look the part, right? So if you have a fancy logo, you got this website, the truck, you got the shirt, everything looks really good. That's only one aspect of building a brand. The other aspect of building a brand is what is the actual experience like of working with you, right? Because when we think about some of the biggest brands in the world, let's say, for example, Nike. I just finished reading the biography by Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and I read his whole story. And it's very clear to me why he was able to build the brand of Nike and what they stand for with it, which is athletics, right? Ambition, competition, winning, victory, right? And basically when you look at it, they focused a little bit on things like logos and what it looks like. I think Phil Knight actually said it only cost him $30 to do the logo, and he didn't even really like it that much. So how does one of the biggest brands in the world, Nike, get created out of literally, they didn't focus on the brand. They didn't even really do much advertising in the beginning. Well, what they really did focus on over time is consistent effort and proof that they actually do follow through on their word, right? If you think about it, like Nike is known for being one of the top athletic companies because they have consistently been represented and associated with winners like Michael Jordan or other top athletes, right? And so over time, that consistent proof and exposure of them being associated with that kind of authority has built that brand to where it is today. And so now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, I think, of really how you can start to build a brand as a residential contractor. And what that looks like is if you want to be known for something like integrity, if you want to be known for being, a top quality service provider, if you want to be known for being a company that maybe charges a little bit more, but you do really great work, then you need to provide consistent proof over a long duration of time that that is actually the case, right? So if every single job you go into, you come in with a mindset of excellence, and every single job you are determined to make it the top quality product that you set out to be, and the experience on the customer's end is something similar, give that enough time and give that enough proof, that is going to build momentum, right? And that is what is going to really start to build a brand. Not all this stupid stuff like, oh, you've got, fancy logo, you got this watermark that looks really good on all your pictures. It's like that stuff is last. Like that's literally just the garnish on your marketing. If you're trying to build a brand, what really is going to build a brand is actually you. Like your efforts and the proof of what you're doing for your clients over time is what's building a brand. Like some of you rely almost exclusively on building your business with just referrals, right? Which, hey, is great because you're going to be, you're relying on word of mouth to do so. Building a business off of referrals alone is actually a really good example of branding because you've branded yourself so much so by doing consistent, long effort and proof over time that people are sharing what you do organically. That's great. And then what advertising does is it takes that brand that you've built through that consistent proof and duration of time and it explodes it. That's why oftentimes, like when people come to us and they say, hey, like I want to build a brand, I want to explode this business, I want to do advertising and all this stuff. And then we look at what they're doing online and it's like, quite frankly, crap. Like their reviews aren't good. They're known for being like, kind of a sketchy character. All that advertising and branding is going to do is just elevate that. It's just going to amplify what you already are, right? And so to truly build a brand as a contractor, you need to be committed to consistently providing proof. The proof is in the pudding that you actually stand for the things you're saying. Because how often times have we experienced where, a contractor will say like, oh, we stand for integrity, but then their actual practice of what they're doing isn't integrity at all, right? And so building a brand goes far, far beyond just what you name your company or what your logo looks like or your website or these watermarks. It goes far beyond that. That stuff is last. What goes first is the consistent proof over time that you actually are the real deal, right? And so I hope that this is helpful for you. This is how I see really building a brand is the consistent effort of your company in the direction that you really want it to be. That is what's the strongest thing that's going to build a brand. And then if you've been in business for a long time and you're trying to figure out what is our brand, just call up your customers who are happy and say, hey, why do you work with us? And if the person says, hey, I work with you guys because you're reliable, because you always do a good job, you communicate very quickly, it's like, cool. Those are the things that we really stand for and that we want to be known for. That's our brand. Simple as that. So I hope you found this video helpful. Share with me your thoughts. Maybe you would disagree with me. Maybe you do agree with me. Comment below. I'd really appreciate your feedback. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.